Some of our friends asked if I'm making a tish tonight. I am gonna sit down and have a Suda when I get home, but it's gonna be so late. Depends on what kind of situation it is. If I'm sitting all by myself, I guess, because I'm so late. And if I'm still awake, maybe I'll share Dvar Torah before I bed. I'm not going to do it live, but I'll record something. Ritz Hashem, if maybe we'll see what's going on. But I'm just so touched by the news that I just heard right now, and I'm just amazed listening to the radio today. And Scripture tells us that God guides the steps of man. And I believe it's Min Hashamayim. Whatever I hear, whatever I experience, whatever happens, not just me, but all of us. And we just have to open our eyes to what Jung called synchronicities, and just recognizing, when they asked Carl Jung, do you believe in God? He said, what do you mean, do I believe in God? I know there's a God. And that's what the Rambam says that we have to do. We have to know there's that there is a first cause to everything. And I believe that comes down to a level of divine providence that's to the smallest subatomic particle and lower. Mika Hashem Elokeinu, like we said this morning in the Hallel, who was like the Lord our God in Psalm 113. Amakbihi l'shavas, he comes down. Amakbi lirais b'shamayim v'aretz. Hamashbili lirais b'shamayim v'aretz. He's mashbil himself. He brings himself down low to heaven. He's above the heavens, down to the heavens and down to the earth. It's the greatness of God is that he's not aloof from us, but rather he cares about us in an intimate way. And I talked about this last night at the Thanksgiving service at work, and that was my sermon. And like in the movie The Incredible Shrinking Man, the soliloquy at the end of that movie where he just gets smaller and smaller, and he recognizes that there's a point where the infinite and the infinitesimal meet, and to God there is no zero. He might be 0.00 billion zeros, a trillion zeros, a quadrillion zeros, whatever, and there's still that one, and he could still go further and further and further. And to God, there's no difference. That's what the story we always tell from that the Kalav Rebbe Shlita Shlema, he told us from Rabbi Strelisker, who told the Hasidim who came thinking that he would be their new Rebbe, but he said they were heretics if they didn't believe that every blade of grass, every piece of straw that fell off of a wagon was predetermined from the 6 days of creation, where exactly it would fall. And they realize that, to a human being, straw is worthless and gold is expensive, but to God it's all the same. To God there is no zero. And so the greatness of a leader is to emulate our Creator. We say that God gave from His glory to flesh and blood. And that's what we see when we see a monarch or a head of state. And we certainly see that tonight, hearing the news about how our president conducts himself. On Thanksgiving, when he could be sitting down, enjoying a meal with his family. He's a man who's enjoyed all kinds of things in life, physically, materialistically. He doesn't need that. What he did today, to get on a plane and go to Afghanistan with nobody knowing about it, keeping it a secret, really not looking for any attention, And to go to our troops and serve them a meal and sit down with them and serve them, because he's not only their commander-in-chief, but he's the public servant, and he's the servant of all of us. Who could imagine such a thing? It's so incredible that it defies words, and it brings out emotions that are hard to describe. How beautiful that is to hear about such a thing like this. That this is what President Trump did today on Thanksgiving. Now when hearing that, I don't feel so bad that I spent the day at work and sat with Jews who were in jail and spent time talking with them, schmoozing with them, davening with them, saying a little Dvar Torah, and going and visiting and giving chizik to broken people. Other people had to go to work, and I had the choice to go to work today. Because it's nothing compared to what the president did today, to get in the plane and go all the way to Afghanistan and serve a Thanksgiving feast to our warriors. It's amazing. And I never want to ever hear again someone complaining about because 40 years ago he had bone spurs or something like that. He's a changed man. He's not who he was 40 years ago. The presidency has changed Donald Trump. He's not the same person that he was. And that's, I believe, again, because God gave from his glory to him. As we say in our liturgy when we see a president or a king or a queen. And then to hear the next part of the news about how the people of Hong Kong are thanking our president and thanking America for opening the door to sanctions to China and Hong Kong if they commit human rights violations. And they're saying, well, this could lead to economic problems, and China is saying, the economic problem, I remember when I was a kid, having a toy frog, a rubber toy frog, and it said made in Hong Kong, and that's what I know from these places, that's my earliest memory. And understanding, and then just being amazed how many things made in Hong Kong, made in Taiwan, made in China. And I'm like, do they just make toys for us? Is that what they do there? That was my thought as a child. And when we think about the economic impact that China has, and that these two countries, one that China wishes it had, and one that China unfortunately has now. If I were England in 1999, I would have said the deal we had was with the Empire of China, not the People's Republic. And Hong Kong doesn't belong to you. But I'm not England. But I think the president realizes, yes, economics are important, but there are some things that are more important than economics. And human rights violations are something that's worth economics, and it's not us doing anything. If China just acts the way they're supposed to act, and treats other human beings with dignity, so then who cares about money? And by doing this, the president is proving Marx wrong, that the world doesn't revolve around mammon, around money, but around human beings who are created in the image of God. While money is useful and important, human beings are more important. And I wanted to talk something else I heard on the radio, the difference between listening to a conservative talk show and a liberal, I don't really believe liberal left-wing talk show, because the left are not liberal. Really, the true liberals are the American right. The American conservatives are the true liberals. But the left. So this morning, I went to the mikveh because I had some extra time. I was up early enough, and I knew Minyan was at 8 o'clock, and I saw it was 7 o'clock, and I knew I could drive to Vishnitz and back and go to mikveh. It's Rosh Chodesh. Nachman Breslauer says you have to. He saw someone going to the mikveh after davening on Rosh Chodesh, which is something that what I usually do. If I go to the mikveh, I don't usually have time to go to the mikveh in the morning before davening. But it was Rosh Chodesh, and Rabbi Nachman says Rosh Chodesh you have to go to the mikveh before davening. I don't think I'm going to have time to do that tomorrow. I'm going to go to the mikveh anyway. We'll cover Shabbos, so it is what it is. But at least this morning I went to the mikveh, and I like to listen to this one talk station, but when you get to a little bit past Monticello, you lose 94.3 the talker, and it becomes the country music station, the Wolf. And I don't like to listen to music. I want to listen to, if I want to listen to music and I want to listen to country music, I listen to Gene Autry. I'm not going to listen to the garbage they have now. But so I turned to NPR, and on NPR they were talking about, because unfortunately the unemployment rate is so low, because they were trying to find what can we say that's recognizing that it's bad that things are good. On Thanksgiving Day, they're looking for something bad, something sad, something to complain about. Instead of what Thanksgiving is all about, when the first Republican president, President Abraham Lincoln, made the first annual Thanksgiving, people don't know that Thanksgiving did not become an annual occurrence until President Lincoln. And that was the darkest, most difficult time in American history, and yet President Lincoln saw only what was good, and said that we have to give thanks to God for his loving divine providence, like we started. Instead, NPR has to look at what's bad. Look, the ski lodges are having a hard time finding people to hire because the unemployment rate is so low. And then they usually will hire illegal aliens, but President Trump is trying to keep those people out. So, the poor, ski lodges in Aspen, where all the snobby rich people have their meaningless fun. They're suffering because the regular people have good jobs already, and they don't need to take a menial job, and they're trying to offer more benefits, and they're able to raise their salaries because it's so difficult to find, and this and that, and they're painting it in such a negative term because the left are just miserable, negative people who have no happiness or joy or gratitude in life. They're missing this because they don't have God in their life. Even those that claim some kind of religious mantle, people like Buttigieg, they're miserable. They're sad people. they have no joy in their life. But I'm going to go and sit down with my family, I hope, and wash and make a mitzi. Maybe make a break Priya Goffin also. It's Rosh Chodesh after all. Maybe sing some Zmiris and eat a Suda. Not in a Gashmiistic way, but I'm hoping in a Ruchniistic way. I mean, it's Gashmias also. But I'm hoping to enjoy a wonderful Thanksgiving feast together with my God and together with the family that He blessed me with in His abundant mercy and grace. Thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe. A very happy Rosh Chodesh, Chodesh Kislev. It's the Chodesh of the Keshes, of the bow and arrow, which is the message of Becharbi Bakashti, which is the message of Tefillah of Yaakov Avinu, to draw into your heart and to have your prayers shoot out like an arrow. The closer you draw into your heart and think about how much God has blessed you, the more your prayers will work. Shilakachtem Yadamori, that I took from the hand of my words. God bless. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. Hit the bell button, and we'll see you later. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Good Chodesh.